man Dan, and today I'm going to be showing you my setup for spearfishing while traveling. I bought this minivan about 4 months ago when I flew into Auckland, New Zealand. It was already set up to be a backpacker camper van, but you could easily do all those adjustments yourself. Just take a look. The van itself is pretty straightforward. Someone just took the seats out of the back and replaced that with some plywood and some boxes back there. A little bit of foam to put down and make a bed for two. Take the center space out and you can make a desk out of it. The back was an interesting little feature. They added this drop down spot here. Fit a lot of my food, whatever I need to be cooking with. And then underneath here you can see I'm able to fit all of my spearfishing equipment, kayaking equipment, and the works. One note I want to make is on the back here. You see I have this nice little cable going up, actually going through the center of the kayak, and then it's locked around the van itself. This is what I do just to make sure nobody takes my kayak off in the middle of the night. The other straps could easily be, well, untied, so this is a good way to keep it secure. Okay, now I'm going to show you how I get the kayak off my van, get it set up, get my dive gear ready to go, so I'm ready for a dive and go spear some fish. Pretty simple, first strap them off, then add my spear cable on the back to my middle. Okay, now the kayak is on the van, there's my rope, there we go. Pretty straightforward. First thing is a little kayak dolly, which is really helpful. You have to carry your kayak a ways. Nobody likes to drag it, put a lot of scratch on it that way, so it's a pretty good way to get your kayak from A to B so you can go out and launch it. These are all made by the same company called Viking Kayaks. And they make a pretty stable platform to dive from. Okay. This back piece just kind of goes on like so, through the little brackets. And this is good. This will kind of help me keep my dive gear all in the back, if you're hitting waves and whatnot. It's thick and padded, so it's going to keep the sun from heating up any fish you got in the back, which is good. And I should put my camera gear and anything else into this. But from time to time when I get a big crayfish, you can fit them in this, and well, there's really nothing better. Also, if you had a fish finder or a GPS on your kayak, you mount it up here in these other brackets, and then you could have your electronics, your battery, whatever else in here. It really is a good little setup. These little paddles. Easily, just go down. There you go. Make sure you get your twist right, however you're used to it. That makes it pretty easy. Side straps here. Done. Highly recommend one of these. Really simple. Just loops right onto your paddles. And this way you can never lose your paddles. Now you can't go diving without a seat, especially if you're going for a shorter dive, maybe you're going through some heavy surf. It may actually be wiser. But if you're going for a longer paddle, more than a couple miles, more than several Ks, you really want to have a seat. It's going to give you a lot of good arch support, a lot of good back support, and it'll just make the day a little more comfortable. Want to make sure they're all just a little bit tight, so that when you sit into them, you're going to form a good back support. Normally speaking, your kayak dolly would just go in like this, and then just cinch down. And that's it, and then you just put the pressure on it and roll it away. Okay, now I'm not going to go ahead and put all my gear into this because it takes a bit of time and I don't really want to suit up right now. But I'm going to show you just how some of my gear goes in, and then most of the rest is really just going to be on your body and you're going to be suited up. So here's what it'll look like. And put that underneath as many of the bungees as I can. My float line usually sits out on top of me as well, so that'll be clipped in here. And then the guys at Viking Kayak made me a custom bridle right here, which has been really helpful. You shoot a big fish. I mean, I shot a 35 kilo, 77 pound kingfish and held up. And then the last bit of gear that I don't wear while I'm paddling, my fins. Alright, so this is pretty much it. This is how your gear's all going to fit into the kayak. As you can see, you pull and paddle right out and ready to paddle away. I just take one last look at the Viking kayak, all set up with the dive gear ready to go. This really is it. If you want to though, you could put an anchor on this and have a float going off the side. I personally prefer to just use the whole kayak itself as my float. It saved me a bit of trouble more than a couple times with some sharks and whatnot. It's good, you know, you shoot a big fish, you can really pull up onto it and then get to your kayak. If you want to get another shaft in it, something like that. Real good, especially considering how many dives I'm doing solo. It's a pretty easy, pretty quick setup. As you can see again with the minivan, going back to this, everything was able to fit all here in the back and underneath, and then still have some space up in here for laying down and relaxing and getting some sleep. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys learned a few things from it on how to travel and spearfish. Really is a great way to get out there. You can obviously just do all this, just do shore dives, but I really think a kayak is a really good way to just extend your range a whole lot. I've gotten my biggest fish off kayaks. You know, you're quiet out there, and you can get several Ks out, or several miles out, whereas if you were swimming and doing a shore dive, you really just couldn't get that distance. Again, get on your next adventure, and I'll see you out there.